Iranian refugee deported from Fiji back to PNG. Parliament passes several amendment bills. And technical guide on Bougainville Referendum launched.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Hello and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. Logman Sawaari, the 21-year-old Iranian man who managed to flee to Fiji, is now back in Papua New Guinea. He arrived yesterday afternoon at the Jacksons International Airport after being deported from Fiji. EMTV has been told by police that Sawaari is currently being detained by police and charges have not yet been laid. Adelaide Sirokskari with this report.
Logman Sawaari is currently being detained by police and no charges have been laid. Police will commence investigation. The police are treating the case as a serious offence as it deals with important documents such as a passport and a visa. Police say this is the first of its kind case regarding an asylum seeker. One of the biggest questions is how he was able to get a hold of a PNG passport. PNG Immigration has not come out to media yet to explain how he was able to get the passport. Logman Sawaari last week managed to board a flight from Port Moresby to Nadi, Fiji on a PNG passport. EMTV News was at the airport waiting for Logman Sawaari to be escorted out of the airport terminal. He arrived in the country at noon. International Organization for Migration and United Nations Human Rights were present at the airport. While at the airport, PNG Immigration advised that he was being interrogated by officers from immigration and the police. The interrogation lasted for 6 hours before he was secretly escorted out of the terminal, avoiding the waiting media, and quickly driven away at 5:30 p.m. Adelaide Sirokskari, National EMTV News.
Pangu Party leader Sam Basil has made it clear today that Pangu Party will be strict with their candidates as they begin going around the country selecting them. Mr. Basil said that some of the party's requirements were that the candidate have a house in the village and be an active member of a church. Not only will they have to pass the requirements, they will also have to sign a memorandum of understanding.
So Pangu Party is very strict. We will not only do that, we will also sign an MOU with the members or the candidates. If they elect to be members, they will have to be abide by those MOUs that Pangu Party will sign with them. And some of those things that we will mention in the MOUs are like they have to spend 70% of their time back in the electorates that voted them in. They must also, in their DDA board or in their provincial government executive, they must roll out their development programs in tune with the Pangu policies.
The Office of the Bougainville Electoral Commissioner has launched a technical guide on the Bougainville referendum. The Bougainville Acting Electoral Commissioner George Manu said the guideline will ensure the people of Bougainville and PNG understand the legal constitutional basics of the upcoming referendum. While preparations are crucial, Mr. Manu said it is important that people are knowledgeable for better discussions on the region's quest for referendum. Fabian Hakelitz reports from Buka.
Referendum is still a much talked about issue. With so much frequently asked questions, the Office of the Bougainville Electoral Commission, in partnership with the Papua New Guinea Electoral Commission, have produced a technical guide on Bougainville's referendum. The guide provides simplified answers to the most frequently asked questions about referendum and relevant provisions of the Bougainville Peace Agreement, the constitutions of Bougainville and Papua New Guinea, and the organic law on referendum.
It is a booklet which basically gives some answers to the population, the people of Bougainville and any other people on what some of the questions that is continually being asked about the issue on the referendum.
The autonomous Bougainville government has already launched a fact sheet based on political issues which doesn't cover the prima, Mr. Manu says, However, its concerns are on the referendum's electoral processes.
Does not touch the issues of the or political issues of the weapons disposal, good governance, the awareness. It does not touch that.
More questions will have to be answered by both governments, the national government and the autonomous Bougainville government.
The issue of the eligibility to vote, with the eligibility, what age, sort of thing. And then they will be also discussing the question of the eligibility to vote by Bougainville and outside of Bougainville.
In Boca, Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
You're with National EMTV News. More local stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Parliament passed several amendment bills during Friday's sitting. Among those passed were the Customs Tariff Amendment Bill 2017, the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2017, the Stamp Duties Amendment Bill 2017, and the Intergovernmental Relations and Functions and Funding Amendment Bill 2017, among others.
Treasury Minister Patrick Pruich yesterday presented 6 amendment bills that were all passed by Parliament. The Customs Tariff Amendment Bill is aimed at improving the administration to be on par with the rest of the world. It also replaces the progressive export duty rate with a fixed duty rate of 32.5%, and it also exempts plantation logs from export duty. The Income Tax Amendment Bill of 2017 amends the Income Tax Act of 1959 to ensure the same methodology is applied across the resource sector.
An amendment to ensure resource projects subject to the Resource Contracts Fiscal Stability Act is adhered and honored. 3. An amendment correcting unintended consequences relating to taxation of dividend, which will ensure that dividend withholding tax is paid by the 3 groups of taxpayers consistent with the intention of the current law.
The Stamp Duties Amendment Bill of 2017, in the meantime, makes correction to the incorrect timing reference to lodge returns under the new bookmakers turnover tax regime, which was passed as part of the 2017 budget.
It is an administrative requirement for time consistency to lodge returns monthly. The 2017 budget amendment contains an error stating to lodge returns fortnightly. This bill makes this correction.
The other amendment bills which were passed on the floor of Parliament were the Income Tax Dividend Withholding Tax Interest and Interest Withholding Tax Rates Amendment Bill and the Intergovernmental Relations and Functions and Funding Amendment Bill. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
Nasfund Contributors Savings and Loan Society Limited has commenced its 2017 quarterly promotions. The Back to School promotion is a joint partnership with Digitech PNG, sponsoring 10,000 kina worth of Dell laptops, and Theody Stationery sponsoring 2,000 kina gift vouchers. The promotion commences on Monday, 6th February, and will run for 3 months. NCSL runs the quarterly promotions to encourage membership growth and support the society's lending activity. NCSL is the largest savings and loan society in terms of membership, with a membership base of over 84,000. Lae Metropolitan Commander Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi Jr. has warned criminal elements against issuing threats on police. He said the police are doing their bit to safeguard the general public and will not hesitate to use arms if fired upon by criminals. The warning follows threats issued on police personnel by criminal elements at 5 Mile in Lae last weekend, where an armed escapee was shot dead by police. The escapee was in a group that was attempting to hold up vehicles when police intervened. They attacked the police by throwing stones and fired 5 rounds from homemade guns.
Taking policeman or Mary. My warning to those criminal elements is that milpano suruk long di saltok na when him something you talk long walking when him something you like walking back at kickback long him mi appeal osem noken woki mo all threats of woki some something because police man mere only alert na stop na they will defend themselves and defend any of the public who said by retreating long harass him or intimidate him. Na long the two shooting come up the weekend. These are two known criminals who have been on the run from police for quite a while, and they will be shot. Na totoglomi osem, what goes around comes around. You can walk in me go, but there got time where good papa but put you land the police. Lo kind of something osem so appeal lomi osem.
The Buka Town Authority Board has approved the submission for the creation of the Buka Town Development Corporation. It's the business arm of the Buka Town Council that will represent them in any business transactions, business arrangements, business investments, business contracts and other relevant business activities. Buka Town Manager Edward Kenai thanked the Buka Town Authority Board for realizing the need for wealth creation. Fabian Hakalitz files this story from Buka.
The Buka Town Development Corporation is the business arm of the Buka Town Council, established as an entity to make money. Mr. Kenai, who formulated this policy, says Buka Town Council needs to make money because they have been relying heavily on grants and budgetary allocations with low internal revenue of 100 to 150,000 kina per annum.
We realized that the only support that we've been receiving was from the ABG, Autonomous Bougainville Government. So with the recurrent, not sufficient to continuously or even effectively fund the whole budget.
The composition for the Buka Town Development Corporation Board of Directors will be appointed on merits. It will be headed by the Business Development Officer.
Get the composition of the board approved. It's a board of directors for the corporation. Then we are ready to roll. And the seed capital, we are going to now put proposals to ask the national government and even ABG to support and put money in as a seed capital for us to start.
The Buka Town manager has challenged all political leaders of Bougainville International and Autonomous Bougainville governments to ensure funding is allocated to help develop Buka Town as the central business district.
So I'm challenging all the members in your budget, in the DSIP, and even in the PSIP, they should at least help the council, help the towns.
In Buka, Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
You're watching the news. The sports segment is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Round 5 of the CocaCola Ingenuity Cup at the Connie Tigers Oval saw both men's and women's teams participate in 4 different pool matches. Despite the weather conditions, games continued as planned for Day 4 with teams eliminated in preparations for the finals tomorrow.
Round 5 of the CocaCola Ingenuity Cup saw 12 teams, both men and women, playing at the Connie Tigers Oval. Yoma DC3 played against Pom Muruks, and within minutes into the first half, Yoma managed to get through the gap to score their first try, with conversion unsuccessful, leading with 4 points. Slowly catching their breath, Pom Muruks provided strong defense, pushing Yoma back to their try line, before scoring their first try, equalizing the score at halftime with 4 points each. In the second half, it was a tight match between the two teams, as they both tried to defend their territory. The match continued with 4 points each, but within minutes to full time, Pom Muruks decided to give Yoma a run for their money by pocketing one more try before the full-time whistle, nailing the coffin with an 8 points lead to Yoma 4. In other matches, Maure Stoneville defeated Kiliwet Tribes with 32 points, SIS Congo overpowered Ola Flyers with 8 points, and in the women's matches, X Factors with 8 points defeated Vanuatu Dust with 4 points behind, while mixed mates locked horns with Red City Blacks. Jason Dom, National EMTV Sports.
After the grace period of 2 weeks, the proper season for beach volleyball started today at Ella Beach for under-18 and under-15 men's and women's teams. With a total 58 players and 17 participating teams, President Kila Dick said a national tournament will be rolled out to scout players for under-18 for the upcoming international fixtures this year.
The start of the proper season today saw a total of 17 teams for both men's and women's under-15 and under-18 play in their respective divisions. President Kila Dick said the aim of the competition is to identify potential players for the under-18 men's and women's teams to get them ready for the nationals in order to make final selections for the Youth Commonwealth Games this year.
This year in July we are going to be part of the youth games in Bahamas, Commonwealth Games in Bahamas, and that's a really big opportunity for our under-18 men's volleyball team. Today we started the actual competition, so this is real competition now.
He says while prominence is given to under-15 and under-18 players, seniors beach volleyball competition will also start around March in preparations for the mini Pacific Games in December.
In March we'll start the Open because in December this year we have the mini games in Vanuatu. There are also a couple of events coming up now, and we want to identify some qualifying pathway for the men's beach volleyball team. We won the gold medal in 2015, so we are really hot in this part of the sport. We must identify those pathways so that we can be able to give our men's volleyball team the qualifying opportunity so that they can take part in the Commonwealth Games next year.
He said 2017 will be the year of beach volleyball as the code will feature many international tournaments. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
To football, Cameroon squad heads to the Gabonese capital Libreville, where they hope to land a 5th continental title as they face the most successful soccer team in Africa, Egypt. Cameroon's national soccer squad flew to the Gabonese capital on Friday ahead of the African Cup of Nations final. Egypt had to overcome a determined Burkina Faso, winning 4-3 in a penalty shootout, and Cameroon is wary of their approach and strengths.
Parce que l'Égypte, c'est quand même une équipe mature, une équipe majeure, qui chaque fois vient à la CAN et repart toujours avec le trophée apparemment. Donc on a du travail, mais je ne suis pas inquiet, j'ai confiance à l'ensemble du groupe. Avec l'élan que l'on a, je pense qu'on va gagner.
And that wraps up the sports news. Up next, the weather details. Stay tuned.
Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region only. Evening rain showers in Port Moresby. Evening showers and possible thunderstorms in Daru. Evening rain showers in Kerema. Chances of evening showers in Alotau and chances of showers and rain in Popondetta.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Before we go, among well-documented human stories that have surfaced as a result of U.S. President Donald Trump's travel ban on 7 Muslim-majority nations is that of a young Iraqi boy who is now separated from his parents. The parents who are stranded in Iraq don't know when they will be able to see their child again.
They give you these little gas heaters to heat up, and if you don't unclog it, a fire breaks up, and by the time they got him, the plastic melted and fell on his face and feet.
It was Dilbareen Mussin's first birthday, Iraq, January 4th, 2016. In an instant, the soft cartilage of his nose, his lips, and most of his face ravaged. The images are tough to see.
You realize there's something different about them and him, and it's really, really sad because these kids, they run away. They're already scared of him.
The name Dilbareen means wounded heart, and his story is complicated. It's a story of being trapped, his Yazidi family fleeing from ISIS, to this refugee camp and now trapped in the United States without his parents. You see, this woman, Adlai Kajan, is not Dilbareen's mother. She's not even a relative. She is simply a kind stranger. Dilbareen's parents, a world away, but we tracked them down in northern Iraq. It's really hard, his father said. He's a little boy. He needs his parents. So what happened here? Well, after the fire and burns, the British aid group, Road to Peace, arranged for Dilbareen and his father, Agil, to come to Shriners Hospital for Children in Boston. That was for the first of a series of operations to slowly release the contractures of his chin and his lower lip, allowing him to take a bottle again. But with his wife about to give birth back in Iraq, Agil couldn't stay, and he begged Adlai to watch after his son.
And that's been the news, sports and weather tonight. I'm Helen Seah. Thanks for watching. Good night.